Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Journey Out podcast. We are so happy you're here. Like always, please like, share, subscribe, and just let everybody know about the awesome things that are going on here at the Journey Out podcast.
I know some people probably had it hard, but I was blessed. I ain't never saw my mom and daddy stressed. They only shows success. I'm living comfort from the sweat off they backs, and that's why all I ever wanted was to give it back. I'm not ashamed cause I was raised right. No, I would only be ashamed if I didn't help you fight through the pain, help you journey out the games that your mind played. No matter what, I'm never letting my shine fade away. Forever searching for knowledge, hoping I find grace. Keep your intentions pure, be sure about the risk you take. Pop said failure builds character. I came up short a time or two. Your mind know what your heart been through. Don't let that pressure startle you, and faith out in the Lord will do you justice. We sat and we discuss it. This assistance for the public. A little love will help recover from your struggle. If iron sharpens iron, and let's journey out together forever. J.O.P. It's Journey Out podcast. Welcome to the Journey Out podcast.
We have another amazing episode. We have our friends from Friends Place Adult Day Services here, DeSoto, in the building.
Give him a hand.
Yes, give him a hand clap. Okay, so now we go way back.
Yes.
And so even though we know you, Marylynne, and we know you, Ryan, please let the audience know who you are and what you do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brie and Antoine. We're so honored to be here. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Marylynne Henry, and I'm the owner and executive director of Friends Place. I wasn't in this industry for 30 plus years. I have a background in computer science and technology and worked as technology director. But the last 12, 13 years, I've been in senior care for people with dementia.
And I'm Ryan. I'm the program director there at Friends Place. My background also isn't in senior care. My background's in education. I started out as an English and history teacher and then traveled abroad for a while, also teaching English, and then came back to spend some more time with my mom and dad, who at the time, my dad was a member there at Friends Place while my mom was, and still is, the owner and executive director.
Okay,
Perfect.
so perfect. Now, so let's transition to how you started Friends Place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marylynne, so what was the reason that you had the passion or the fire to start Friends Place?
Well, as I said, I was working in technology, and my husband, Rod, went in for surgery. And during the surgery, or after the surgery was over, he had a anoxic brain injury, stopped breathing, and came out of that surgery with severe dementia and needing 24-hour assistance. So I got thrown into the caregiver world kind of overnight. Was not something I had anticipated, but I knew that once he finished his rehab and they sent him home and said, okay, here you go, he needs 24/7 care, that I had to do something. And I looked around, and he was in his 50s at the time, and so a lot of the assisted living places and things just didn't fit what he needed, and I knew I wanted to keep him home. So a friend of mine was taking care of her mother who had dementia, and she told me about Friends Place in Richardson. And so I visited there, and it was a good fit. And so Rod started attending there, and we always lived in DeSoto in the southern sector. And it occurred to me that my current job wasn't fitting it now that I was a 24/7 caregiver.
Right.
And I think opening Friends Place was a blessing, and it was something I was led to, and things started falling into place. People showed up to help me get done what I needed to get done. So I knew that, God was kind of leading me on that path to bring the Friends Place to Southern Dallas County.
So a follow-up question to that. As a caregiver, what was your day-to-day like? Dealing with your husband, also mother, working. What was that day-to-day like?
Yeah, it was frenzied. It was, get up, get him up, because even though he could walk and talk, he couldn't really do anything for himself. Ryan was in college. My daughter was, a senior in high school. So trying to manage all that was very, very exhausting.
Right. Right. And so let's talk about Friends Place a little bit more, right? So we understand it's an adult day center, but kind of break that down. What does an adult day program do for seniors?
Okay. Well, my personal mission is threefold. The first is providing, the engagement and a safe place for people with dementia to come during the day. So we are an active program. Everyone that comes to our program is living at home and still is, fairly active. So, some of the stereotypes of what's in an adult day program really don't apply to us at all. And you really can't tell what it is until you visit.
Right.
And everybody comes in and visits and say, oh, this is not what I expected.
Right.
So we specialize in seniors. So we don't have, across the spectrum. We just specialize in dementia and Parkinson's and those things. And then the second part is supporting the caregivers. Because like I said, with my story, I got thrown into this and quite frankly, the doctors aren't much help. Right. They send you home and say, here, maybe they might have a pill or two to give you. But as far as other support, you're kind of out on the limb. So my personal passion is to connect with other caregivers and just give them the resources, whether it's, say, I know Bree and Antoine, I can refer you over there, or, I know somebody who does driving that can help you with your driving. Yeah. So that's why I think our missions kind of merge in that aspect. And then our support group, our support group meets twice a month. It's through the Alzheimer's Association, so it is open to anyone in the community. And we do discussions, but I also do education sessions once a month. So we've had attorneys, we've had physicians, we've had researchers. We even had improv comedy come and do an improv comedy class for caregivers because we find that improv is a good way to talk to someone with dementia. Right. So exposing the caregivers to these different kinds of resources is essential. And then family events, we give the families a place to come with their loved ones so they can have a night out, senior prom, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grandparents' Day. They can come to a safe place. They don't have to worry about getting their loved one out to a restaurant, and they can come and have a good time with them.
And I can say that the atmosphere at Friends Place in DeSoto is very family oriented. It's love, and it's a beautiful place to be, somewhere where you would want your loved one to be at also. Right. And go ahead.
I do want to question there, because I think a lot of times during the caregiver journey, we forget the caregiver. It's always about, the person with Alzheimer's dementia, as it should be. But the caregiver is also going through something as well. So talk to me about, why do you feel that's important for people who don't know about adult day services but can get engaged with them and do things like the support groups or the family events? Why do you think that is so important for the community at large to do that?
Well, because caregivers get very isolated. They get overwhelmed. They don't always have family support. Right. It breaks my heart when, a family comes in and they say, I have 4 brothers and sisters, but nobody wants to have it. It's just me. Yeah. So I want to fill that need. I want to give them that support as much as possible, because, caregiving, it's a marathon. Somebody told me at the beginning, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Right. I heard that a lot. Right. It's not over quickly, and you don't know how long it's going to last, and it changes. So just when you get comfortable with one thing, all of a sudden something changes. Right. And then, the caregiver's health suffers. Right. Because we're not taking care of ourselves. So, yeah.
Not only that, but the average caregiver, what it looks like has changed over the last 15, 20 years. Increasingly, the stereotypical picture of what a caregiver is somebody that is 55 or older. Yeah. Somebody that already, typically, if you're 55 or older, you're not as healthy as you were when you were 35, 25. Right. And stress is something that exacerbates a lot of those symptoms. Right. Which is something that caregivers, their first response isn't to, oh, hold on, let me take care of myself. It's hold on, wait, what does my loved one need?
Right.
And that's what you have to do as a caregiver. You have to put that loved one first.
Right.
But that means that a lot of times your needs aren't being met.
Exactly.
And that increases your own negative health outcomes.
Exactly. And so the adult daycare for the caregiver, right, is pretty much a stress reliever so they can get some respite throughout the day. Right.
And each one of our clients, they have a slightly different reason why they bring their loved ones.
Right.
Some people are spouses that are bringing their spouse because they're 65, 75 too. They want to go to lunch with some of their friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people are retired. They want to take a nap because they don't get to sleep well overnight while their loved one's home.
Right.
So some of our clients are kids that are taking care of their parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, something like that,
Right.
where they need to go to work. And they have to go to work because you talk about there is something like over $1 billion lost in the economy each year due to unpaid caregiving.
Right.
Not unprofessional caregiving, but family members that have had to take off from their job or stop working entirely in order to be that 24/7 caregiver.
Right. Right.
Well, Ryan, answer this. What does a day when a family member dropped their loved ones off to a friend's place or adult day center, what does a day look like for their loved one?
One of the first questions that I always get is, what time do I have to bring them? I always tell them, I said, around here, they say a wizard is neither early nor late, but arrives precisely when he means to, and we're all wizards. So there isn't a set time that you have to pick someone up or drop someone off. I mean, as long as we're open.
Right.
But because some people are early risers and they need to be, then maybe they need to be at work at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. So we open at 7:30. But maybe their loved one is a bit of a night owl, doesn't do well in the morning. So sometimes they don't get there till 10 o'clock or so. In the morning, we have a continental style breakfast. So people come in, they get seated with friends of theirs, people that they've been introduced to. Sometimes it's the people that they get introduced every day. And that's okay too. That's the good thing about Friends Place. Even if I'm happy to meet you for the first time
every day. That's great. That's good.
And we go through and we make sure that they get, we have a nutritionist that looks over our menu. So we're making sure that they're not just getting McDonald's double cheeseburgers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right.
So you get that sense of community. You come in, you get a cup of coffee, get some eggs, bacon, read the paper. Pretty much exactly what my dad used to do he used to drag me to when he would hang out with my grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay.
Early in the morning, drink some coffee. I'd read the comics while the two of them just shot the breeze.
Right.
At about 10 o'clock, we break into activities. We try to have about 3 different activities going on at any one moment.
Right.
That my staff will accommodate depending on who's in that activity.
Right.
So if we're doing a painting activity, maybe somebody's not able to really paint very well. They don't have the fine motor skills anymore. Okay, well then we'll adjust it somehow. Maybe it's instead of painting with like, oh, here, I'll fill in some of these smaller parts. You take the roller and roll up and down on it.
Right.
Make sure to get some of that paint on. Or you tell me what color you like and I'll put it in there.
Right.
It just really depends on what that looks like.
Right.
We might do a cooking class and, okay, one person is in charge of measuring out everything. One person just in charge of mixing the dough. We'll have an active game, chair basketball, something like that. Or
I know they love that.
Oh, yeah.
I know they love that.
Then we also have in the morning, we have an early stage seminar that is really targeted towards people that are at the very beginning stages of the disease, where we might have.
I love that.
On Wednesdays, we do a book club. But I mean, the people that are appropriate for the book club are the ones that are able to listen to the book and ideally remember what the plot is from week to week.
Yeah.
And so that does kind of self-select out. Because I mean, some people like to be in there just to hear the book be read, and that's okay too.
Right.
Throughout none of our activities are prescriptive. So we have people that, you know what, maybe they want to be in the active game for a little bit, and they get bored of that, so they'll walk over and they'll head into the tea kitchen and start helping out with the cooking activity we have.
Right.
It just kind of depends on whatever they really want to do. We try not to say no. If it's something that we can accommodate, then we'll do it.
And the objective of the activity is never to complete the painting
Right.
perfectly.
Right.
It's just the socialization and the
Engagement. Yeah.
and the activity, however we get there.
And I love that too, because what it really does is you get to know the people that are coming on a day-to-day basis. So you know what fits for them and what doesn't. And so you really get to curate a personalized day for them each and every day. And I kind of love that because, the activities are set. But like you said, hey, maybe we're doing this for Mr. John because Mr. John really likes doing puzzles instead of really painting and things like that. So I love how you kind of get that personalized touch with it. But what are some of the things to consider, people should consider when choosing a day program such as you all's?
So I think the main thing, and I think is the client to staff ratio and how are the staff trained. When I'm interviewing people and people that have worked in nursing homes and things, and I say, well, what kind of specific dementia training have you gotten? And it's just kind of appalling to know that there's not a lot of specific dementia training for caregivers. And I know you guys do a lot of training as we do. And so, and then the ratio, again, skilled nursing, 1 to 20. So you can have 20 people in a skilled nursing, one
You're right about
caregiver.
that. Yes.
Adult day center, the state requirements is 1 to 8, but at Friends Place, we're 1 to 5. So you will have a very high ratio. We keep, our staff is very receptive to how to keep the group small so that they don't get overwhelmed.
Right. And
and that is, our goal. And then family events, what kind of family events are there? Does the center actually help with families coming in?
Right.
And then just obviously, cleanliness and those kind of things.
Right. And so is there a specific criteria? I know Friends Place, you guys are dealing with Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, those type of things. But is there a specific criteria that is kind of generalized for all adult daycares, like where they have to be mobile, or what is the standard there?
Most adult daycares do cover all different ages.
Okay.
And that's another reason why we can specialize in dementia. So we only take people. So we're able to tailor our activities a little bit more. There's no requirements. You have to have an activity calendar, but that's one thing I would say when you go in to look at a day center, are they really doing the activities? Because there's plenty of places that publish calendars.
Right.
And like Ryan said, we have 2 or 3 different things going on at one time, and there are 2 or 3, and sometimes more than that going on, because we always have somebody wanting to play dominoes or, like I said, doing the puzzle and those kind of things. And then the menus, we cook all of our food at the center. So we serve restaurant style in the living room, so they feel like they've had a day out.
Yeah. One thing, and again, like this is a partnership. We've known.
Hold on. They spoil them.
Look, we can attest to that. Okay, so we really can attest to that. But that's what I was going to say. This is a partnership that we've had for years. And one thing that I always see with your clients that come in, one, they always say, "I'm going to work."
Yes.
Right. I'm going to work. So they feel like they have purpose and dignity. And I love that. But you guys, you keep them engaged. They're not just going there and sitting down. Like they here to get that at home, It's really engagement and it's interaction with them. And they really feel like a sense of purpose when I'm going to work, I'm going to get my breakfast, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going home after work, right?
You're missing it. The domino games get serious. The domino game gets serious in there. So listen, y'all have great activities, food, great environment. Y'all done gave a lot of things that people need to look at as far as trying to determine what's a good adult day center to go to. Now, one thing they will want to know, how much does this cost? Because listen, this is lavish, right? And I know y'all spoil them. So how much does this cost?
That's honestly, I think our main selling point. You talk about these people, everybody that comes to our center needs 24/7 care. That looks like we talk about either an unpaid caregiver, family member being at home, which has its own cost. You have people like TC Home Health that provide in-home care. The low end of in-home care is going to be $25 an hour.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would be a little bit suspect of a company that said they could come into my home and provide full care for $25 an hour.
Yeah.
And usually that's minimum 3 hours, and anything over that. We start at $75 for a half day, which is up to 5 hours.
Awesome.
And then to get more than 5 hours, it starts at $95 for a full day.
Wow.
Awesome.
But y'all, what about your veterans? I know y'all have a good population
Yeah,
of
the
veterans.
VA, we're part of the community care network. And so you can talk with your VA social worker and get a referral to us, and the VA will pay for a certain number of days depending on what the VA's black box turns around and says.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the VA, we will pay for our services as well.
So to me, that sounds affordable and worth it
Right.
for a peace of mind for a caregiver.
Right. And I think the families out there, again, we talk about this a lot, but a lot of veteran families don't know the benefits that you all have. And for that veteran family member that's caring for a loved one, you can have reprieve on a day-to-day or however many days that the VA approves, or you can get care for free.
Right.
Like you don't have to spend anything out of pocket to get the assistance that's needed. And I think that's always super important when we're talking about this, because a lot of caregivers don't know. And so that's super important.
Especially with the VA, you really do have to be your own advocate.
Right.
Where the social workers are good, but the social workers don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And so I know I've had VA clients that have come to me and said, I didn't even, like, the social worker didn't tell us that adult day was an option. They either said it was a nursing home or at home care.
Wow.
But when they brought it up to the social worker, they were like, well, okay, well, let me check it out.
Yeah.
And they find their way to our
Things
doorstep.
like this is why we're doing things like this, because a lot of families don't know.
And the vets don't know they can get that service, and the caregivers don't know that those options are out there. So speaking of caregivers, what tips would you give some caregivers when their family member is dealing with dementia?
Well, the big one is you can't do it alone.
Yes.
You know, when I have especially married couples that have been together for a long time, and the husband feels like, you know, this is my responsibility. If I bring her to a friend's place, then I'm shirking my responsibilities. You know, I'm supposed to take care of her. But the fact is you can't do it all yourself. As disease progresses, it gets increasingly harder. And also, if they don't ever expose them to having to accept care from someone else, they're going to get more and more attached to the caregiver, where then it becomes difficult. And even if you want to go away, you know, I have a lady, she wants to go to her grandson's graduation, but her husband's never been away from her. So, you know, the chances of her being able to find someone to watch him, or, you know, to have him in a overnight situation is probably difficult, because he's not used to other people caring. So I would say, you know, that yes, get them used to getting care from someone else, and that you know, it's a good thing. And if they say they don't want to go, I mean, 95% of the people who come in our doors say, this is not for me. I don't need to be here. Right. You know, even the 90-something-year-old will say, there's just a bunch of old people here. I said, it's not for me. But if the caregiver takes the approach that, okay, well, you know, the doctor said that you needed some, this is brain therapy. This is helps your brain. You're coming to volunteer. I need you to come because I need to go take care of my doctor's appointments, and so I need for you to stay here for 3 or 4 hours and help them out while I go. If the caregiver is firm with that and makes it clear that, you know, they're going to come back, they're not dropping them off forever, then it goes a lot smoother.
And thank you for saying that. One last question that I want to kind of add to kind of piggyback off of that. I know one thing that we see a lot is the willingness for the caregiver to be firm and to really just take the reins. They're like, well, I know he used to do. So what tips would you give a caregiver for that? Like, to really just take control of the situation and understand that you're not taking away their rights, or you're not taking away their ability to make a decision, but you know at this point what is best.
But even with that, those caregivers, that's their mother or their father. And so,
or
hey,
spouse.
your dad said this, so we're not going to do it. So,
and that is, I mean, that's one of the difficult parts about that that relationship changes. When you get that diagnosis, that relationship changes. Yes, they may be your grandfather, your mother, your father, your spouse, but when you get it, you do have to take some of that agency away.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that their life has to be free from choices.
Right.
Like maybe you say, okay, do you want to get breakfast at the center, or do you want to have breakfast here? So you're giving them the choice of where they want to eat breakfast. The choice is not, do I eat breakfast? Because if you say, do you want to eat? Some people will always say yes. Other people will always say no.
Yeah.
And both of those are their own issues. So that guided choice is also like an important aspect of making sure that you can still add agency in there, but you're making sure that the choices that they make are the ones that you're okay with.
Okay, so since we're on that, how difficult is it to manage those behaviors for their loved ones, right? If that caregiver is trying to, get their loved one to do A, B, or C, but they don't want to, how difficult is it? And what can they do to kind of persuade them?
I mean, the first thing you got to do is pick your battles.
Okay.
In our support group, we talk about DIRM, D-I-R-M. Does it really matter? So if you're getting up in the day and your loved one's ready to go, but they don't want to change out of their pajamas. Does it really matter? No, probably not. They can come to friend's place in their pajamas. Nobody's going to say one thing sideways about it.
Right.
Now the flip side of it is, okay, does it really matter if they take their medicine in the morning? That probably does really matter. So that's a battle that you want to try to fight.
Right.
Sometimes that means, with Dad, it was putting his medicine in vanilla ice cream, because that was what he loved eating, and he could still find a pure white pill inside a bowl of vanilla ice cream. So it wasn't always easy, but that's what we had to do in order to get him to take his medicine, because that is something that he needed to do.
Right.
The other one is always just saying yes. When you say no, you are putting up a barrier between you and your loved one. And so when you reframe things so that the two of you are on the same side, sometimes that even physically means being on the same side. So if I have somebody that's trying to go out the front door because they think their loved one is out there because they saw a white car and they know that their loved one, like their son, has a white car, then I don't want to be directly in front of them if I can avoid it. I want to be on their side.
Right.
Literally shoulder to shoulder, because that means we're working on this together.
Right.
And they're going to trust me more as opposed to I'm an obstacle in their way.
Right. I love that. And so I know I said like last question, 3 questions. But this truly is the last question. Ryan, now this is a father-daughter duo here. This is a mother-son duo. Just tell me how awesome it is to like work with your mom. I can tell you a story. Like this thing, this is amazing. It's hard, but it's amazing. And so kind of tell me what it's like to just work with mom and kind of share that common goal of just trying to get families the support that they need.
I mean, it's the whole reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I was working in China, had been for 3 years, and had the opportunity. I had a choice of what I wanted to do. Did I want to continue on in my career there in China, or did I want to come back home? At the time, my dad was in hospice, and so I'm like, okay, China's going to be there. That country's not going anywhere. Yeah. My wife is from China, so like my connection to China isn't going anywhere either. If I want to go back, I don't have any problem doing that. But I knew that I had a limited amount of time with my mom and dad. And so that was the whole reason why I came. And I'm not going to like tell any stories and say that it's always the easiest thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, that's what we're both, I mean, she has a wealth of knowledge that I need to probably learn to listen to a little bit better.
Amen.
Amen. But at the same time, I think I also bring a unique perspective. It comes from a slightly different background, and so I think we make a good team. We both have different backgrounds, and we both have learned to listen to each other over the last, I mean, it's been 6 years since I started on this journey as a professional caregiver.
Yeah. I love that. Look, I can attest to all you're saying, sir. I absolutely love that. And appreciate that.
And you have the good cop, bad cop.
It's like, listen, for the first time, okay, mother and son, father and daughter. Can we put up our mugs and let's toast to
Let's toast to family legacy here. Come on.
And I want to do one more plug when we're talking about caregivers. There's a book called Did I Remember to Tell You? And it's by Pam Kovacs Johnson, who is the founder of Friends Place program. And I want to recommend that to all caregivers. It's a wonderfully written book that gives stories, but with each story, there is a technique that you can use to work with your care partner. And that the derm, the Does It Really Matter, that came from her book. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, pick that up. Tell us again what it is.
Did I Remember to Tell You?
Did I Remember to Tell You by Pam Kovacs, right?
Pam Kovacs Johnson.
Perfect. Yeah, get that book, because when you said derm, like, oh no, where did that come from? I need to read more on it, because that's really important. And I think just thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing. Yeah, go.
Sorry, I did have one more thing.
Yeah.
She briefly talked about it when we talked about caregiver support. Male caregivers are hugely underrepresented in every single one of
you come around
conferences. When you look at different services that are there for caregiver support, you go into a support group meeting and chances are you'll see 95% women there.
Right.
However, 55% of our population is women, and women tend to live longer as well. So you're looking at a larger population of male caregivers that are not getting the resources that they need and are probably feeling overwhelmed. So if there's a male caregiver out there in your life, someone that you know, reach out and offer some help. Maybe force them to take some help. Because chances are they're not okay. Yeah. Not everything is good, no matter how much they tell you. They really do need that support.
And you really can't see the stress. You probably don't even feel it, but your body is telling you, right? Until you break down. So that's great, Brian. Man, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
If you know somebody, reach out. You can say it better.
Look, you preaching, okay? Because again, they are under missed, like they're missed, like no one thinks about this. So I thank you for adding that.
I'm Marylynne Henry, Executive Director at Friends Place Adult Day Services in DeSoto.
And I'm Ryan Henry. I'm the Program Director at Friends Place Adult Day Services. We're located right in DeSoto off of Cockrell Hill and Beltline. You can reach us at 972-274-2484 to call and schedule a tour, or even just call for some resources. We're here for you.
I thank y'all for coming onto the podcast, sharing your wealth of knowledge, but also sharing all about Friends Place Adult Day Services DeSoto and what you guys are doing there. Please, 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 there will be information in the bio below. You'll also be able to get all of their information and call them and really set up some time to take a tour and figure out if it's the right match for you and your loved one, which it will be, so there's no figuring it out. But I thank you guys for watching today. Please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. Share this with anybody you know who could benefit from this information. And with that, we are out.
Peace.
Peace.